Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan Logan, one of the trainers at Brutal Iron Gym, and today I'll be answering the question, if I could go back in time to when I first started training, what advice would I give myself? And my advice to self would be to track everything. Well, actually three main areas in particular: my diet, my training, and my sleep. Alright, all three of those areas are crucial to making progress and to making progress as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. Alright, they all piggyback on each other and they're all super important. And the earlier you can really get control over all three of those areas, the quicker you're going to see results, and the more you'll enjoy the whole process, because it's all about results after all. So, the first area I'd like to talk about is diet, alright? And really it just comes down to food is fuel, alright? And what we put in our bodies is going to affect our performance and ultimately our results. Super important that you really just nail that down as early as possible, alright? And there's many different ways of tracking your diet, alright? From very detailed methods to more just kind of following general guidelines. And the important thing is that you find a method that works for you and something that you can do consistently, okay? I know a lot of you have probably heard of MyFitnessPal, and that's a program that tracks your calories and your macros, your proteins, carbs, fats, things like that. And that's a great program if you're consistent with it and you actually use it and you track everything. Got a really cool feature on there where you can kind of scan the barcode of whatever you buy from the store, and a lot of it will just already be right there in the program for you. So that's really cool if you like little gadgets like that. Me personally, I don't use that program myself. I'm just super consistent. I eat the same things every single day, so I'm able to make little adjustments as needed based on my results, and so I don't keep an ongoing exact count of all my macronutrients and calories. But for many people that would be a very valuable tool, especially if you're at the point where you don't quite have that complete consistency in your diet yet. It's really eye-opening when you use a program like that and you can actually see what you're putting into your body on a regular basis. And for most people, it'll fluctuate. That calorie count will kind of spike up and then go down and up and down. So it's good to track your diet just so you have an idea of what's going on and realize that that's going to determine your results. If your diet is like this, your results going to be like this as well, regardless of your goal, whether it's to build muscle or to burn fat. You got to be consistent with that diet, alright? And so just get control of that as early as possible. Also, I want to mention kind of early on, since we're talking about what I would do if I could go back in time, so I would like to say from early on, my diet was, I had a good diet. I was very consistent. I was eating every 2 to 3 hours, about 5 to 6 meals a day. Alright, I was eating good, clean foods, all that. What I didn't realize though was that I just wasn't getting enough calories every day to accomplish my goal, which was to build muscle at the time. I've always been very lean, and my goal forever has been to just build more muscle. And I just didn't realize that I wasn't consuming nearly enough calories to do that. And if I would have had something like MyFitnessPal, or I would have just taken the time to tally up, the total amount of calories I was consuming, I would have realized a lot earlier that I just needed to consume a lot more calories. And that would have really helped to expedite my results and help me just accomplish a lot more than I have already accomplished in the past 16 years of training. So go ahead and take just a second to mention the scale. all right? Because the scale really gets a bad rap. And it's understandable why. You know, the scale doesn't take into account body composition and things related to that. However, it is a very important tool if used correctly. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I weigh myself every single morning right after I wake up and use the restroom. So I can just kind of track fluctuations in my weight and get a good idea if my weight is consistently going up or down or just maintaining it about the same. And based on that, I'll adjust my caloric intake and other areas of my diet as needed. So the scale can be useful. If your weight's been exactly the same for the past couple of weeks, chances are you're probably not building a significant amount of muscle or burning a significant amount of fat if it's just right there at the same point. Personally, when I'm trying to gain weight or lose weight, I like to see small changes, so just about half a pound to a pound a week. And if that's not happening, I know I need to address some component of my diet. All right, so that was a very long-winded way of saying know what's going on with your diet, take control of it. All right. Next point I'd like to touch on is training, tracking your training, okay? Super important. A lot of people, this is really the only component that they might track, and they tend to just kind of forget about their diet or their sleep. And that I can understand why. A lot of people, there's a tendency of believing that our results are kind of made in the gym, when really that's not the case. All right, all we do in the gym is tear down our bodies. If you think about it, all we're doing is breaking down muscle, and that is super important because that provides the stimulus for adaptation and growth. All right, but while we're in the gym working out, tearing down our bodies, we're not growing, we're not repairing, we're not building. Okay, so that's only one component. That's only a third of the equation right there with diet, training, and sleep. So view it as such, all right? But it is important to track our training as well. And with that, what we want to make sure when we're tracking our training, by whatever means you choose to track it, whether it be an app, there's a lot of fitness, workout tracking apps out now, or just pencil and paper. That's what I do. I'm kind of old school like that. But regardless of how you track your workouts, you need to make sure that you are progressing from workout to workout. All right? I like to use the term progressive overload, and that's kind of a fancy term for calculating your training volume, which you can calculate by multiplying the number of sets times the number of reps times the amount of weight used. All right? And we want to make sure from workout to workout that we are progressing, that training volume is going up. Now, you don't have to actually multiply all of that stuff out and get that number and make sure that number is increasing. I actually don't do that on a regular basis myself, but what I do is I make sure that for every exercise, I'm either getting a couple extra reps at a given weight, or that my sets are comprised of a higher weight, or that I'm getting more sets for each exercise. So I just kind of break it down into those specific areas, and I make sure that I am getting a progression for every exercise during that workout. And that way, since I'm tracking my workouts and I know what I did last time, I'm always coming into the gym focused, trying to beat my previous performance. All right? And if you don't come in there focused, knowing what you need to do and really striving to do that, you're just spinning your wheels. You're maintaining at best. All right? So every workout you should go in there planning to beat yourself, beat your previous performance. All right? And that's how you're going to continually make progress, continually accomplish your goals, and get closer to those long-term goals. All right? Every workout needs to be better than the last. All right? And when you get to the point where you can't make a significant progression from your previous workout, that's when you need to clear the drawing board, so to speak, and create a new workout or start a new program, all right? Because you should be able to see a significant progression from workout to workout, especially if your diet is what it needs to be and you're getting enough sleep to recover. Okay, see, they all tie in, they all keep coming back to those three main categories. So, let's see here. Back to the past, all right? We're talking about the earlier me, so quick little story. When I first started out, all right, I really understood that principle of progressive overload, or I thought I did anyway. So every time I worked out, I was trying to beat my previous performance. However, I took it a little too far, all right? And I would repeat a workout, 10, 15, 20 times, just trying to just grind away, get a little bit more, till I'd get to the point where I would do an entire workout, and the only difference from my previous time I did that workout would be I might get one extra rep on one or two exercises, and obviously that's not a significant progression, all right? So basically, I was just maintaining for that workout. And then that, coupled with me not getting enough calories to actually grow, a lot of wasted time in that sense, so that's something I really wish I could have really just understood and really got, early on, so I could have just made a lot more progress over this past 16 years. But, so, having said that, when I started to see the biggest results and the biggest, just the biggest results I've ever got over the course of, a training year, was when I really understood that principle of progressive overload, and when I started to realize when I'm no longer making a significant progression from workout to workout, and when it was the correct time to include variety and switch up the workout and start doing other things as well. And so I could see that significant progression start again from workout to workout. And after I did that, that's when I started seeing my results just escalate, and really, really accelerate. But so it's not simply just grinding away doing the same things every single time. There is also a need for variety as well, and really striking a good balance there. And generally speaking, very generally speaking, I would say for most people, about every 4 to 6 weeks or so, you'll probably be getting close to where you're not making as much of a significant progression. You might want to consider switching up your workouts, trying something new. All right? And again, that's contingent upon your diet and your rest. If those are in order, you'll be able to progress for quite a while. If they're not, then no matter what you do, you're not going to see much of a progression. Even if you do switch up your workouts, you're going to have a hard time progressing from one workout to the next and really increasing that training volume. So moving on to the third component, sleep. All right, and this is kind of lately been my favorite thing to talk about, because this has been my biggest struggle since forever, since the beginning, since 16 years ago, since my whole life. All right, I have not gotten enough sleep on a regular basis, and sleep is really so important. Like I told you, in the gym, all you do is break down muscle. All right, you're providing the stimulus for growth and adaptation, but it doesn't happen in the gym. It happens when you sleep. Okay. Now, I'll be honest with you. On average, in the past, I probably got around 6 hours of sleep a night, on average. Sometimes less. That's not good. The body's amazing, what it can adapt to. I got used to getting 6 hours of sleep. I would wake up 5 minutes before my alarm clock went off, but that doesn't mean I was getting enough sleep. And it's really not until I started getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night that I really started to experience the benefits of getting adequate sleep. And again, like as just a general recommendation, general guidelines, I'd say shoot for about 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night. and that should satisfy the sleep requirements of most people. The harder you train, the more often you're in the gym, breaking down those muscles, working hard, the more sleep you're going to need. Okay? So take that in consideration too. If you're training 3 days a week, 7 hours might be enough for you. You might be able to recover between workouts really well with that. But if you're in the gym, training 5, 6 days a week, you might need the upper end of that. You might need 8 to 9 hours or more. So super important there. And this has actually been my biggest goal really over the past, about 4 or 5 months ago. I really decided to buckle down in this area of my life. And one of the ways I did that was by being objective about it and tracking it, just like I track my diet and my training. So again, there's many methods of tracking. You got I think they're the Fitbit, these little watches you can wear that'll track the quality of your sleep and everything, and those are really cool, especially if you have issues with the quality of your sleep. Me personally, I fall asleep the second I lay my head down, and I sleep through the night until my alarm clock goes off in the morning. So I don't have any sleep quality issues. So what's worked for me has just been pencil and paper. I put a notebook on my nightstand right next to my bed, and I'll just write down what time it is, right when I get in bed each night. And then when I get up in the morning, I'll write down what time I got up. And then I can track how many hours of sleep I'm getting each night, and I can come up with like a weekly average, or I can get as detailed as I want with it. But really it just makes me more aware of what I'm doing throughout the week, and makes me feel more accountable to myself as well when it's just right there looking at me in black and white. So that has really helped. Since I started doing that, almost immediately I went from 6 hours on average to 7 to 8 hours of sleep on average. And I have experienced a world of difference. When I wake up each morning, I don't feel like a zombie. I'm actually alive, and alert. And I recover from my workouts so much faster, which has also led to a better quality of workout. I'm able to see more progression from workout to workout. Lately I've been training 6 to 7 days a week, and I'm able to recover between each of my workouts and still progress and actually feel good in the process. I've been able, my weight's been going up as I've been trying to build more muscle at a steady rate there. So just everything, every area of life is better when you're well rested, when you're getting enough sleep. And kind of one of the things that really kind of made it sink in, because I've always known I need to get more sleep. You grow when you sleep, etc., etc. But I just wasn't doing it until a good friend of mine told me that there is not one pro bodybuilder that only gets 6 hours of sleep. And I'm not about to believe that I'm that guy with such great genetics that I'll be the first. So that was kind of a reality check, and that's about the time I decided to start tracking my sleep as well and being more consistent with that. So just as a quick recap, make sure you're tracking your diet, your training, your sleep, those 3 crucial areas that are so important to helping you accomplish your goals and continually make progress in the gym. Just really stay in control of these areas, alright? And if you do, I guarantee you, every day you'll just be getting a step closer to your goals. You won't be wasting time. You won't be hitting these long plateaus where nothing seems to happen. You'll always know where you stand, what you need to do, what needs to be changed or adjusted, and your results will just be accelerated that much. I can only imagine if I would have actually done this, from day one, where I would be today. I try not to think about it too much because it can be kind of depressing actually, but I'm sure if I would have done that consistently for the past 16 years, I would be, much further along in my fitness journey than where I am now. So, but lesson learned, live and learn, right? So now I know, and I'm sharing that with everybody else, So hopefully you'll be able to incorporate these practices of tracking, these 3 areas, and you'll be able to really benefit from that as well. So thanks for listening. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll be answering more questions in the future. Thank you.